what the hell, Chuck, is going on with these running backs dropping the ball before they get over the end zone, man? It happened again. Last week, it happened in Indy with Adonai Mitchell, who actually had two plays that ended up pretty much determining the Colts' outcome versus the Rams when he took I think it was a 77-yarder to the house, let the ball go right before the end zone, touchback. Rams were able to capitalize. Also, he held on a Jonathan Taylor amazing run that went for a touchdown. Also got called back. But the main thing I want to focus on is the drop ball over the end zone before you cross. It happened this week again in Arizona. Absolutely had an impact on the outcome of that game, amongst other things. Arizona completely dropped the ball in that game, but I don't want
literally
dropped the ball that game. Mari DiMercado, after a 71-yard run that would have essentially closed the game out. I think they would have been up like 28-7 had he had carried the ball into the end zone like he was supposed to. I know you don't have the exact answer, but is this as frustrating to you as it is to me seeing a play like that? Because it's obvious it's frustrating for everybody, but how does it keep on happening?
Yeah, these are plays when you're watching, you're like, well, how can he do it until you're in that situation? And it depends, as you're running and get to that point, you're thinking you're crossing the end zone line with your momentum, but yet as the ball is starting to be released, that's the call that they're going to make. And like you mentioned, that call, that touchdown ultimately determined the outcome of that game. And the thing that frustrates me, I know as a player, he's upset at himself, but I don't know if you caught the sideline, and he was emotional during that time, and the players are trying to console him. The coach came over and just punched him in the chest. Hard as I don't know what. Whoa.
Yeah. It's a grown ass man that you doing that.
That's
You
a
don't
grown man.
Yeah.
You can turn around and that tells me he's a young player, but ultimately, man, when that coach is there, man, hey man, we're men. I made a mistake, and that's fine. But don't put your hands on me in that particular manner. We would have had words at that particular point. I understand you're frustrated. You can curse me out. I get it. Don't put your hands on me.
I hear you. Don't mess with Chuck, man. Don't mess with Chuck. He already know. He was already upset. He didn't need that extra thing. We don't know the context. We saw it. It looked a little bit more forceful than it needed to be. Like you said, it could have been a motivating thing. Maybe like, hey, you're good. You'll go back in the game. Or maybe it was.
That looked like a wind up to me, Trey. That looked like a wind up to me. Wind up, and if we were there, you would have heard the pad. You would have heard that pad sound that happened. Nah, don't do that. No, don't do that.
Okay. I mean, I feel you. Don't put your hands on me. I'm a grown ass man too. We out here trying to do the same thing. But that was one of those mistakes that you just can't happen in a football game. You're an NFL player. You're a pro.
Think about it. But if it was flipped, right, and that coach and something happened and that player was mad, he can't put his hands on the coach.
Oh, I'm not justifying it.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that's why I say it's double edged in that particular manner. Like, listen, man, he made a mistake. Okay, we lost the game. But again, you would go up 28-7. It still was 28-7, 21-7. Go out there and make stops. So you have the opportunity to make the stop. It didn't happen.
True.
Now, if that was the last play of the game, then we were talking about a different conversation here.
That's a good point. And they also had an opportunity for interception. You see that other crazy play where they intercepted the ball, dude fumbled it, teammate kicked it into the end zone, and they scored a touchdown. Right. I mean, that's about as bad luck as you could have in a game, and Arizona seems to be getting that a lot. But a couple of other notable games I wanted to get your opinion on. A lot of noise happened in Philly, as much noise for a 4-1 team as you could possibly have, but it's because that offense seems to be lacking something. And with the star power that they have between the running back, the wide receivers, and then their O-line, which is year in, year out, one of the top in the league. Now, Lane Johnson is hurt. And there's always a correlation with the Eagles. When Lane Johnson is hurt, they never play well, but they're managing to win games. They lost this one against the Broncos. And once again, that offense looked subpar in that second half. I think they only had 48 yards of offense after they scored their 21st point. Should they be ringing the alarm a little bit in Philly?
You're ringing the alarm because, these things that started, they were brewing a couple weeks ago. And then you lose your game, and then guess what? Everything explodes because you can't go backwards. At least we won the game. No, you lost, and these issues are now going to be highlighted. And what happens is, especially for your receivers, both of your receivers are getting paid. They're getting top dollar at their position. And you know how the business of the NFL goes. Yes, you can win, and they can go out there and win the Super Bowl, whatever the case may be. But if you put pedestrian numbers up, guess what? The organization at some point is going to come to you saying, we need you to take a pay cut. your numbers aren't what they are, and we can't pay you top dollar because you're not producing. Yes, we're winning, but you're not producing individually. People on the outside don't look at it from that perspective. That's why the frustration is happening in the receiver group in that room, because they know these conversations are happening internally. And if it continues, one of those two are getting cut or at least have to take a salary reduction.
Ooh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, it's too much money going on for you not to be reaping some of those fruits of that labor. And so, uh, and ultimately, it does fall on Jalen Hurts' shoulders. He is the Super Bowl winning quarterback of that team. And so he has to figure it out. And it's not all on him, but they are dealing with it with a 4-1 record. So there are worse things that could be happening in Philadelphia. But there's one more game I want to talk about. It's not necessarily for the game. Patriots Bill, Drake Maye, who I think is going to be one heck of a quarterback in this league, once again showed up in a big way and outdueled last year's MVP and Josh Allen. But what I want to get to, did you see or read about the petty king that Bill Belichick is? Because I guess he put a directive out there to his team that nobody from UNC can tweet or say anything on social media about the New England Patriots. He already banned them for their facilities, which I think is just, it hurts the kids, all for some petty beef that he has with his exit from the Patriots. But I guess shortly thereafter, the directive got lifted. And so UNC put something out nice about Drake Maye. But Bill Belichick is awfully petty to do some stuff like that, don't you think?
He is, and like you said, it hurts the players more than anything. Bill got his money.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're coming into the college ranks. These guys are trying to get to where he was at, if for that longevity into the NFL, and you're to prevent those guys from doing so. That's you have to set your ego to the side. I'm glad he lifted it. Drake Maye, you're going to ask him to come back for alumni events. You're wanting to be a
Exactly.
part of it to help for recruiting. Don't do that.
Right.
Put your differences to the side. At least allow that for it to be able to happen, because you don't want Drake at that particular point that turn around and say, you know what, I'm cool, I'm not going back to UNC. But it's hard because he has relationships. He's going to want to be around his team, and the university has done him well. So you just hope that these things get smoothed over, because right now there's too much pettiness going on.
And he ain't even winning games, man. How you gonna be petty and lose? Like, get your butt whooped. It's like a double whammy. But
Correct.
nevertheless,
But sometimes,
go ahead.
when that happens, they know when those scouts come in, they all evaluate the rosters of colleges, and they give you a grade, and they can turn around and say they don't have enough talent on there. They can give them a D plus, they can give them a C minus, maybe as high as an A. The most SEC schools gets an A, like a Georgia and your Alabamas. But if those scouts start coming in and they're looking at the roster and they put the grades on him, now that sticks with him for an entire year, and that information is now shared with everyone else. So I think that's why Bill Belichick was trying to be a little bit more private as it relates to those grades, and not allowing at least one team to go in. But let's not forget, the information is shared with a lot of people.
Exactly. He gonna be all right. He need to stop being petty.